Namaskar, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, students and scholars, teachers and trainers, professors, professionals, listener, learners. I welcome all respected doctors and directors. I welcome honorable ministers and managers. I welcome honorable advocates, advertisers, administrators, advisors. I welcome the most honorable President Prime Minister Modi ji. It is really nice time, nice place, nice action today. All of you are listening, YouTube channel 3M Creators. What is happening around the world, economically, politically, socially. Let us go through these changes in the form of unity and diversity. Delhi court sentences man to 25 years in jail for digital rape of 2-year-old girl from New Delhi. The Delhi court, which concluded a POCSO trial in 9 days, sentenced a 30-year-old man to 25 years of rigorous imprisonment for raping a 2-year-old girl on October 20. The court said that a lenient view could not be taken in a case of digital rape. Additional Sessions Judge Additional Session Judge Sunita Punia said on November 20 that the law does not make any distinction between digital penetration and penile penetration. The man was convicted. The man was convicted on the man was convicted on November 19 under 6 aggravated penetrative sexual assault of the POCSO Act. The trial started on November 10, outlining that the convict was a friend of the victim's father and was visiting the family. The judge said that he violated the trust reposed in him. The victim was in the safest place in the world, which was her home, but the convict made it unsafe for her. Moreover, the festival of lights turned into darkness that will remain with her and her family for the rest of their life. October 20, the day the crime was committed, was the eve of Diwali. The judge rejected the defense counsel's plea for a lenient view as the convict committed digital rape while intoxicated and that he was illiterate. The judge said his act is not only legally punishable but also morally repugnant. Delhi opted for digital mapping system to monitor school infra. From New Delhi, the city is preparing for a large-scale infrastructure exercise for government schools centered on a new digital mapping system. It will capture the real-time conduction of more than 1,000 government school buildings. At the heart of this initiative is an AI-enabled profiling mechanism that will create detailed digital records for every campus, setting the foundation for safer and more resilient learning environments. Government's plan is to build a dynamic inventory that not only documents the physical state of schools but also flags issues automatically by comparing on ground data with CBSE and National Disaster Management Authority standards said on official. This digital system will generate customized analytical reports, giving administrators a clear view of what needs immediate attention and what requires long-term planning, he added. Tribunal awards 38 lakh rupees to kin of accident victims after 9 years from Delhi. 9 years after a tragic road accident killed a man and his 1 year old daughter, Delhi Motor Accident Claims Tribunal has awarded over rupees 38 lakh in compensation to their surviving family members. Presiding officer Shirish Agarwal observed that it was the duty of the driver of the offending vehicle to exercise due care and caution. He held the driver, the vehicle owner, and the insurer jointly and equally liable to pay the compensation. 56-year-old held for killing man who harassed his daughter from New Delhi. A 56-year-old man has been arrested for allegedly murdering a 32-year-old man who reportedly harassed his daughter and threatened to leak her private videos in Kirti Nagar, West Delhi. The girl's cousin has also been arrested in connection with the case. The deceased has been identified as Angad, resident of Motinagar. Hawk's Eye on Cyber Fraud Corps NAB 877. 1K crore rupees try uncovered via major operation. Many modules busted from New Delhi in their biggest ever coordinated crackdown on cyber scammers. Multiple Delhi police units have come together to carry out Operation Sai Hawk, claiming to have dented the financial and operational might of organized cyber fraud networks. The operation was conducted recently following nearly a month of technical groundwork undertaken along with Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center under the Union Ministry of Home Affairs. Investigation carried out hotspot mapping, analyzed mule accounts, verified suspicious mobile numbers, traced fund movements across layered digital chains, and correlated thousands of cyber complaints with financial trials. The cops focused on three core pillars of the cyber fraud ecosystem. Mule accounts used to park and layer stolen money. Foot soldiers who withdraw, transfer, or redistributing these funds, and illegal civil centers running job scams. Italy edged Belgium into Davish final with epic tie-break win. From Bologna, Laksha downs Chen to enter the final in Sydney. Laksha Chen survived anxious moments in the second game to pull off a thrilling Travis turned Ashes opener on its head from Patna. A test match day of World. Ashe Rui letting go of upper hand as India rest back initiative in fading light. Kuldeep brings back memories of art of spin. Abusing Hindus. BJP on TN Die CM calling Sanskrit dead. Boy fights off leopard in forest school. Bag saves life. If you reject me, I will do the same. Ajit Pawar to electors. Government plans bill on civil nuclear sector for winter parl session. 9 other bills are also on pipeline. New Delhi, a bill seeking to open up the civil nuclear sector for private players, is among the 10 new proposed legislations listed by the government for introduction in the winter session of Parliament beginning December 1. Besides the crucial the Atomic Energy Bill 2025, which seeks to govern the use and regulation of automatic energy in India, the Higher Education Commission of India bill is also on the agenda. According to a Lok Sabha bulletin, the proposed law seeks to set up a Higher Education Commission of India to facilitate universities and other higher educational institutes to become independent and self-governing institutions to promote excellence through a robust and transparent systems of accreditation and autonomy. Desperate to get never women stages son abdiction from Meerut. Bihar, not for you. Nitish's new Home Minister warns criminals newly appointed by CM says criminals would no longer be spared. Cash when east. Co-op among six held as rupees 6.5 crore recovered. Inspiration for home, town and alma mater. 7 get life term for 2022 up mosque murder. Supreme Court to hear plea to make POSH applicable against advocates. From New Delhi, Supreme Court on Friday agreed to hear Supreme Court Women Lawyers Association's plea to make Workplace Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act applicable to sexual harassment complaints against advocates. It issued a notice of appeal against a Bombay High Court judgment holding that the act was not applicable to advocates. People's mandate stolen RJD 6 reply from EC from Patna. Labour Court's Progress CPM will erode worker rights opponents. Trade union also come out against move from New Delhi. Prime Minister Modi's endorsement of the force newly implemented Labour Courts on Friday drew clear political fault the lines with government projecting them as long pending reforms while trade unions and left parties warned of erosion of worker protection. Battle lines drawn for fresh stand of government leaned on unorganized workers. I don't get pressured by trolls on social media, CGI designate from New Delhi. 2 days prior to taking oath as the 53rd Chief Justice of India, Justice Vivekanand on Saturday said he does not get pressured by social media trolls, many of whom attempt to misrepresent, misquote of selectively extract court observations to create a negative impression about the judiciary despite having little knowledge of law. In an informal instruction, in an informal interaction with the media, Justice Khan said, I have never been pressured by the campaigns and motivated reporting on social media. I think an overwhelming majority of judges would not be affected by social media trolls as they decide cases based on facts and law. Justice Kant will be the first person from Haryana to become the CGI, outlining the priorities. The CGI designate said that in his tenure of 1 year and 3 months, he would focus on checking out a strategy in consultation with stakeholders to reduce the dependency of 90,000 cases in Supreme Court and around 5 crore cases in high courts and district courts. The listing of long pending bench cases, whether before 9 judge, 7 judge, or 5 judge constitution benches, would set parity as thousands of cases raising the same or similar questions of law are pending in various high courts which have deferred hearing them in anticipation of Supreme Court verdicts. He said one such matter pending adjudication by 9 judge bench is the entry of women into Sabrimala temple, mosque and other custom related religious issues. He said it is a matter of concern that despite Supreme Court judges disposing of almost as many cases as are filed every year, the pendency is increasing. Judges cannot be overburdened, whether in High Court, Supreme Courts, or trial courts. He said, adding that some innovative measure must be devised to tackle pendency on use of artificial intelligence. He said there are certain apprehensions about its misuse and judiciary being a sensitive field. Its use in case measurement needs to be examined. Meditation, Justice Kant said, would be a game changer in the future and reduce pendency in courts. It is receiving an increasing response from public sector, banks and insurance companies, which are asking the judiciary to train their personnel in mediation to resolve disputes at the pre-litigation stage. BJP and JDU, I was Assembly Speaker from Patna. BLO found hanging in Nadia. BLO found hanging in Nadia. Blamed EC in suicide note. South Bengal CM calls it alarming suicide note, fake BJP from Kolkata. Too bad two BLOs died in BMP. Ken Alice work pressure of survey. 3 women dead, 10 injured as MOUV overturned in Maha. Macaulay racist, but his English push gave us passport to mobility. To junk, India must redefine what food really is. Tejas tragedy has hard lessons, but it should not clip aerospace emissions. I think in good fiction it's possible to fit a universe into a teacup. A rishta with Uncle Sam and some red lines. अयोध्या में राम मंदिर पर लहराएगी धर्म ध्वजा. हिजबुल्लाह के सैन्य नेता की मौत, इजराइल का बेरूत. 1 साल के संघर्ष विराम के बावजूद इजरायली सेना ने किया हमला. यूक्रेन का मास्को क्षेत्र में रूसी स्टेशन पर हमला। यूक्रेन ने मास्को क्षेत्र में ताप में विद्युत स्टेशन पर हमला। भीषण आग लग गई और हजारों लोगों के लिए ताप आपूर्ति बाधित। गुवाहाटी टेस्ट, भारतीय बल्लेबाजों पर बड़ा दारोमदार। गुवाहाटी टेस्ट में दक्षिण अफ्रीका 480 रन से आगे। तीसरे दिन भारतीय बल्लेबाजों पर रहेगा बड़ा दारोमदार। राजस्थान में पहली बार आयोजित होंगे खेलो इंडिया यूनिवर्सिटी गेम्स 2025। आज से 5 दिसंबर तक आयोजित होंगे खेल। मजदूरों का कल्याण होगा और सामाजिक सुरक्षा में सुधार होगा। नए लेबर कोड लागू होने के बाद लोगों में उत्साह। खनन श्रमिकों ने सुधारों की खुलकर की सराहना। हिजबुल्लाह के सैन्य नेता अली तबताई की मौत। छठा अंतर्राष्ट्रीय कृषि विज्ञान सम्मेलन का होने जा रहा आयोजन। वेलकम टू द एज ऑफ ब्रॉडकास्टिंग, where every commute comes with a noisy sound track you didn't choose. From Virat jersey to Herman's bat, Indians I'll slice of cricket history. Farah ki Jawani, how a 60-year-old became YouTuber's hottest star. So many celebrities ask, can you pay for our hair and makeup? And I say, please don't do this. People want to see you as you are in your house. I don't even get my own hair and makeup done. I come in normal clothes that I have bought online, says Khan. बोस्निया में राष्ट्रपति चुनाव में सिरिस्का ने जीत हासिल की। जस्टिस सूर्यकांत आज लेंगे 53वें मुख्य न्यायाधीश पद की शपथ। 9वें सिख गुरु गुरु तेग बहादुर जी का आज 350वां शहीदी दिवस। नौसेना में आज शामिल होगा स्वदेशी तकनीक से बना माहिर। स्वदेशी जहाज निर्माण यात्रा में एक और मील का पत्थर। सफल G20 सम्मेलन के बाद पीएम मोदी स्वदेश लौटे। पीएम मोदी का दक्षिण अफ्रीका दौरा संपन्न। हिजबुल्लाह के सैन्य नेता अली तबताई की मौत। छठा अंतर्राष्ट्रीय कृषि विज्ञान सम्मेलन का होने जा रहा शुभारंभ। बोस्निया में राष्ट्रपति चुनाव में सिरिस्का ने जीत हासिल की। जस्टिस सूर्यकांत आज लेंगे 53वें मुख्य न्यायाधीश पद की शपथ। $54.7 million sale of Farida Kahlo self-portrait breaks auction record for female artist. New proposals on settled status in UK leave Indians dismayed. China sends letter to UN Japan's remark after shock rocks Bangladesh as quick death toll rises to 10. 2019 में सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जज के तौर पर धारा 370 फैसला देने वाले संविधान पीठ का हिस्सा रहे। बिहार में एसआईआर के खिलाफ दायर याचिकाओं पर सुनवाई की। सीजीआई के तौर पर जस्टिस सूर्यकांत का कार्यकाल 15 महीने होगा। 2004 में पहली बार पंजाब व हरियाणा हाई कोर्ट के जज बनाए गए। धारा 370 फैसला देने वाली संविधान पीठ का हिस्सा रहे। Nellin Nikki Haley's son, Punjab the Grand Putter goes anti-immigrant from Washington. 2019 में सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जज के तौर पर नियुक्ति हुई अहम फैसले। जम्मू कश्मीर को विशेष दर्जा देने वाले अनुच्छेद 370 को खत्म करने के फैसले को सही ठहराने वाली बैच का हिस्सा रहे। आईपीएस की धारा 124A राजद्रोह के तहत एफआईआर दर्ज करने पर रोक लगाई। बिहार में चुनाव आयोग द्वारा एसआईआर के खिलाफ याचिकाओं पर सुनवाई। सेना में पुरुष अधिकारियों की तरह महिला अफसरों को भी स्थायी कमीशन का आदेश दिया। European leaders seek alternative to US space plan. Kyiv says favors Moscow. Russia claims to take string of East Ukrainian villages. Trump meets Mamdani, says he is confident in mayor election. From Washington. MAGA favorite Marjorie Greene to step down after split with Trump. From Washington. आत्मनिर्भर भारत का उदाहरण है माहे। नई पीढ़ी के स्वदेशी युद्धपोत का प्रतीक माहे। स्वदेशी जलयान का जलावतरण आज। स्वदेशी जहाज निर्माण यात्रा में एक और मील का पत्थर स्थापित होगा। बोस्नियन यूनिवर्सिटी चुनाव में चीनी शाह। 37 Maoists surrender in Telangana. Niyas what unitedly our votes are scattered. Assam CM says pressure has to be maintained on illegal settlers from Guwahati. सफल G20 सम्मेलन के बाद इजराइल का बेरूत पर हवाई हमला। हिजबुल के सैन्य नेता अली तबताई की मौत। श्री गुरु तेग बहादुर जी की 350वीं शहादत वर्षगांठ। छठा अंतर्राष्ट्रीय कृषि विज्ञान सम्मेलन का होने जा रहा आयोजन नई दिल्ली में। जस्टिस सूर्यकांत आज लेंगे शपथ। नौवें सिख गुरु गुरु तेग बहादुर जी का शहीदी नौ सेना के आज शामिल होगा। स्वदेशी जहाज निर्माण यात्रा में एक और मील का पत्थर माहे। सफल G20 सम्मेलन के बाद पीएम मोदी स्वदेश लौटे। इजराइल का बेरूत पर हवाई हमला। इजराइल का बेरूत पर हिजबुल्लाह के सैन्य नेता अली तबताई की मौत। जुलाई 1675 350वीं शहीदी दिवस। बोस्निया में राष्ट्रपति चुनाव में सिनिसा करण ने जीत हासिल की। जस्टिस सूर्यकांत आज लेंगे 53वें मुख्य न्यायाधीश पद की शपथ। चांदनी चौक 1675 शहीदी। मानवता की रक्षा के लिए अपना शीश समर्पित कर दिया। छठा अंतर्राष्ट्रीय कृषि विज्ञान सम्मेलन का होने जा रहा आयोजन। हिंद दी चादर। गुरु तेग बहादुर जी की शहादत मानव के इतिहास में अद्वितीय है। मुगल सेना के खिलाफ करतारपुर की लड़ाई में दिखाई अद्भुत वीरता। सिर्फ 13 साल की उम्र में मिला तेग बहादुर का नाम। 350वीं शहादत वर्षगांठ पर भव्य आयोजन। लाल किले में ऐतिहासिक कीर्तन दरबार। केंद्र द्वारा विशेष डाक टिकट। सफल G20 सम्मेलन के बाद पीएम मोदी स्वदेश लौटे। विशेष स्मारक ट्रेनों का इजराइल का बेरूत पर हवाई हिजबुल के सैन्य नेता अली तब्ताई की मौत। धलीवार कॉर्नर्स जे इंडर ओवर unfulfilled promises. Main highlights state government's push for drug-free Punjab. New system to enhance ease of doing business. AI case calls upon people to burn labor code copies. Join Stir. कृषि मंत्री शिवराज सिंह चौहान करेंगे कार्यक्रम का शुभारंभ। छठा अंतर्राष्ट्रीय कृषि विज्ञान सम्मेलन 3 दिन चलेगा। युवा वैज्ञानिक और विद्यार्थी लेंगे भाग। 1000 से अधिक वैश्विक प्रतिनिधि होंगे शामिल। छठा अंतर्राष्ट्रीय कृषि विज्ञान सम्मेलन। सफल G20 सम्मेलन। थीम स्टार्ट कृषि और जलवायु अनुकूल पोषण संवर्धक प्रणालियां। कृषि विश्वविद्यालय। 3 दिन चलेगा अंतर्राष्ट्रीय कृषि विज्ञान सम्मेलन। Rajnath to open Haryana Pavilion at Geeta Mahotsav from Chandigarh. Two men threaten school students with toy gun held from Chandigarh. ड्राफ्ट इलेक्टोरल रोल 27 दिसंबर को प्रकाशित होगा। रविवार को भी अधिकारी कर रहे हैं काम। अगले साल 22 जनवरी कर सकते हैं क्लेम फाइनल। एसआईआर का मकसद मतदान में योग्य लोगों को शामिल करना है। ऑब्जेक्शन होने पर 22/1/2026 तक लगातार कर रहे हैं अधिकारी काम। असम में वोटर रोल का स्पेशल डिवीजन जारी। ड्राफ्ट इलेक्टोरल रोल 27 दिसंबर को प्रकाशित होगा। अगले साल 22 जनवरी कर सकते हैं क्लेम फाइनल। Two men threatened school students with toy gun held from Chandigarh. Only 9 fresh farm fire cases logged in Punjab from Bathinda. Man paraded as gangster is social worker. Half leader says from Jin. Government officers oppose revised policy for promotion to High Courts. State staff set to move High Court over issue from Chandigarh. Punjab VB arrest Batala MC chief for taking 50k rupees bribe. Case against suspended Moga ADC. 13.5 lakh rupees unaccounted cash recovered. Amid crime surge, Kongman shop sprayed with bullets. Killing of sacrilege accused direct challenge to power of court. High Court says from Chandigarh. Refusing to grant bail to the accused who allegedly shot dead Pradeep Singh alias Raju Dodhi, a Dera Sacha Soda follower, and an accused in the 2015 sacrilege cases. The Punjab and Haryana High Court has observed that Dodhi, by killing Dhodhi, the accused interfered with the judicial process for determining his guilt. The court was also of the view that the murder of an accused of a criminal offense prevents the legal system from functioning which is a direct challenge to the authority and power of the court. The High Court, however, directed that the trial against the accused be expedited. Punjab relies on old guard to plug shortage of specialist doctors, invites retired specialist for 88 posts. Cross-border drug cartel, one arrested with 250 crore rupees heroin. अयोध्या के रेलवे स्टेशन का कायाकल्प। अयोध्या जंक्शन और अयोध्या कैंट का हुआ कायाकल्प। अयोध्या जंक्शन वंदे भारत सहित कई ट्रेनों का ठहराव। नौवें सिख गुरु गुरु तेग बहादुर जी का आज 350वां शहीदी दिवस। दिल्ली सहित प्रमुख शहरों में सीधा। अयोध्या में बड़े स्तर पर सड़कों का निर्माण। स्वदेशी जहाज निर्माण यात्रा में एक और मील का पत्थर। रामनगरी की भव्यता को मिला विस्तार। अयोध्या से प्रमुख शहरों के लिए विमान सेवा। महर्षि वाल्मीकि एयरपोर्ट बनाया गया। हिजबुल्लाह के सैन्य नेता अली तबताई की मौत। अयोध्या के रेलवे स्टेशन का कायाकल्प। 6वां अंतर्राष्ट्रीय कृषि विज्ञान सम्मेलन का होने जा रहा आयोजन। वंदे भारत सहित कई ट्रेनों का ठहराव। अयोध्या से प्रमुख शहरों के लिए विमान सेवा। महर्षि वाल्मीकि एयरपोर्ट बनाया गया। अयोध्या के रेलवे स्टेशन का कायाकल्प। में मुख्य न्यायाधीश पद की शपथ। सूर्यकांत। नौवें सिख गुरु गुरु तेग बहादुर जी का आज 350वां शहीदी दिवस। 25 नवंबर को दोपहर 2:56 पर मंदिर के कपाट बंद हो जाएंगे। बद्रीनाथ के कपाट होंगे बंद। शीतकाल के लिए बंद कर दिए जाएंगे मंदिर के कपाट। कपाट बंद होने से पहले मां लक्ष्मी जी को चढ़ाया जाएगा कढ़ाई भोग। 26 नवंबर को दोपहर 2:56 पर मंदिर के कपाट बंद हो जाएंगे। बोस्निया में राष्ट्रपति चुनाव में सिनिशा करन ने जीत हासिल की। सिकंदराबाद में सरदार पटेल की 150वीं जयंती पर हुए प्रोग्राम। सरदार @150 यूनिटी मार्च में उमड़ा जन सैलाब। इजराइल का हैथम तबताई को मार गिराने का दावा। Tejas crash IAF officer Namash to be cremated in Kangra today. Singer Harman Sidhu dies in road accident from Bathinda. Batala MC commissioner held for bravery. NIA team starts probe into twin blast at Bathinda village home. Vinay Kumar is new Himachal Kong president from Shimla. Srinagar man held in white collar terror module case from Srinagar. Release of Wangchuk tops Ladakh gross demands from Srinagar. At G20, Prime Minister proposes front against drug terror nexus from Johannesburg. Modi meets world leaders in Joburg. PM Modi Saturday had an engaging exchange on different issues with multiple world leaders in Johannesburg and shared they together reaffirmed shared commitment to global progress and prosperity. Modi met his British counterpart Keir Starmer, Malaysian PM Anwar Ibrahim, French President Emmanuel Macron, South Korea's President Lee Jae-myung, Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva and UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres on the sidelines of the G20 Leaders Summit called for rethink of global development parameters. Johannesburg Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Saturday called for a profound rethink of the global development parameters and proposed setting up of a G20 initiative to counter the drug terror nexus and a global healthcare response team. राजस्थान में पहली बार आयोजित होंगे खेलो इंडिया यूनिवर्सिटी गेम्स 2025 राजस्थान के 7 शहरों में होगा आयोजन अजमेर जयपुर जोधपुर 5,000 से ज़्यादा एथलीट लेंगे भाग खेलो इंडिया यूनिवर्सिटी गेम्स 2025 पहली बार बीच वॉलीबॉल कैनोइंग खो खो प्रदर्शन में इवेंट के तौर पर शामिल नौसेना में आज शामिल होगा स्वदेशी राजस्थान में पहली बार 24 स्पर्धाओं में 5,000 से ज्यादा एथलीट लेंगे हिस्सा सफल G20 सम्मेलन के बाद पीएम मोदी स्वदेश लौटे 20 नवंबर 5 दिसंबर तक आयोजित होंगे खेलो इंडिया यूनिवर्सिटी गेम्स 2025 छठा अंतर्राष्ट्रीय कृषि विज्ञान सम्मेलन बोस्निया में राष्ट्रपति चुनाव में सिनिशा करण ने जीत हासिल की 24 नवंबर से 5 दिसंबर तक आयोजित होंगे खेलो इंडिया यूनिवर्सिटी गेम्स 2025 इजरायल का बेरूत पर हवाई हमला रविवार के दिन छा गए भारतीय खिलाड़ी लक्ष्य सेन की बड़ी जीत फाइनल में जापान के लक्ष्य ने फाइनल मैच 38 मिनट में जीता भारत ने जीता पहला महिला दृष्टिबाधित T20 विश्व कप। भारत बना चैंपियन। फाइनल में नेपाल को 7 विकेट से हराया। भारत ने फाइनल में नेपाल को 7 विकेट से हराया। गुवाहाटी में टेस्टी में टीम इंडिया बैकफुट पर। सफल G20 सम्मेलन। दक्षिण अफ्रीका ने पहली पारी में बनाए 489 रन। रविवार के दिन छा गए भारतीय खिलाड़ी। आस्था और मानवाधिकार की रक्षा के लिए किए गए उनके बलिदान से हमें हर स्थिति से निपटना साहस शक्ति मिलती है। आइए हम उनकी शिक्षा को साथ में साथ सशक्त एवं विकसित भारत के निर्माण हेतु निरंतर आगे बढ़े। At G20, Prime Minister proposes front against drug terror nexus. Johannesburg Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Saturday called for a profound rethink of the global development parameters and proposed the setting up of a G20 initiative to counter the drug terror nexus and a global healthcare response team. Addressing the opening session of the G20 leaders meeting here, Modi said the G20 has long shaped global finance and growth, but prevailing models have deprived large populations of resources and driven the over-exploitation of nature's challenges felt acutely in Africa. Modi also presented the principle of integral humanism, part of India's civilizational values, which he said showed a way forward in striking a balance between development and nature. The Prime Minister outlined for path-breaking new initiatives the Global Traditional Knowledge Repository, the G20 Africa Skills Multiplier Initiative, the G20 Global Healthcare Response Team, and the G20 Initiative on Countering the Drug Terror Nexus. Acknowledging that the G20 Leaders Summit was being held in Africa for the first time, Modi said the focus on striking a balance between development and environment was more appropriate given that the continent has been a victim of overexploitation of natural resources. Now is the right moment for us to revisit our development parameters and focus on growth that is inclusive and sustainable. India's civilizational values, especially the principle of integral humanism, offers a way forward, Modi told the session on inclusive and sustainable economic growth, leaving no one behind. Recognizing that many communities across the world preserve eco-balanced, culturally rich and socially cohesive ways of living, the Prime Minister proposed the creation of a global traditional knowledge repository under the G20. Indian Knowledge Systems Initiative can form the base for this platform, he said. Release of Wangchuk tops Ladakh group's demands from Srinagar, a draft proposal submitted by Leh apex body to the centre says granting general amnesty, amnesty to its member and climate activist Sonam Wangchuk. Srinagar man held in white collar terror module case from Srinagar. The J&K Police's State Investigation Agency arrested a man here on Saturday in connection with a white-collar terrorist module case, officials said. The arrested person has been identified as Tufail Niyaz Bhatt, a resident of the Bhatta Malu area of the city here. He was arrested as a part of the ongoing investigation into the white-collar terror module case, the official added. The entire module was The entire module was busted after the Srinagar police began an investigation into the pasting of posters that threatened police and security forces on walls in Bunpora. Vinay Kumar is new Himachal Kong President Shimla. From Shimla, Shri Renukaji MLA Vinay Kumar was on Saturday appointed the President of Himachal Pradesh Congress Committee just hours after he resigned as the Deputy Speaker of the state's Legislative Assembly. NIA teams NIA team starts probe into twin blast at Bathinda village, home from Bathinda. 12 days after the Red Fort blast in Delhi, the National Investigation Agency had started a probe into the September 10 twin blast that took place at a house in Bathinda's Jida village. An NIA team on Friday visited the houses where law student Gurupreet Singh 19 and his father Jagtar Singh sustained injuries in separate blasts. The blast occurred from chemicals and explosive material, which Gurupreet stated he purchased online. So the NIA team did not divulge, divulge by any details. Police sources said the central agency might be looking for a terrorist angle to the blast. Batala MC Commissioner held for bribery. Punjab Vigilance Bureau has arrested Batala Municipal Commissioner cum SDM Vikramjit Singh Panthe for allegedly accepting a bribe of rupees 50,000 on Saturday. ABB spokesperson stated that Panthe was caught red-handed while accepting the bribe from the complainant. An accounted amount of rupees 13.5 lakh was also seized upon a search of the accused, he said. Tejas Crash IAF officer Navansh to be cremated in Kangra today. Nature and basis of international law. Before we take up different aspects of nature and basis of international law, it will be desirable to discuss in detail the question whether international law is true law or not. This is necessary because the nature of international law is not the same that of national law. A number of conceptions or even assumptions as to who is subject to the rules of international law as to the acceptance of international law, entailing rights and obligations and the enforcement of them must be analyzed before the substance of international law. It has been well established for once and for all times that international law is law. A discussion of this question is still important for it helps to understand the nature of international law. The observation that international law is not law was made by just jurists who were trained and groomed who was who were trained and groomed under municipal law and jurisprudence and who sought in international law all those things which they had been seeing and were accused of seeing in municipal law. They were under a fallacy that there could be no system of law and jurisprudence other than municipal law and jurisprudence. They failed to realize that while state law is essentially a centralized system, international law operates in a decentralized system. The fallacious observation made by jurists such as Austin, Pfaffendorf, Hobbes, Holland, and Jethro Brown influenced international lawyers and writers so much so that even at present they have not been able to free themselves completely from such influence. For example, Stark had criticized Austinian concept of law and subscribes to the view that international law is law yet seems to be under some influence of the shared fallacy because he goes on to remark that international law is a weak law. Once it is admitted that municipal law is a centralized system while international law operates in a decentralized system, it becomes obvious that comparison of the two systems is not proper. They were under a fallacy that here could be no system of law and jurisprudence other than municipal law and jurisprudence. They failed to realize that while state law is essentially a centralized system, international law operates in a decentralized system. The fallacious observation made by jurists such as Austin, Pfaffendorf, Hobbes, Holland, and Jethro Brown influenced international lawyers and writers so much so that even at present they have not been able to free themselves completely from such influence. For example, Stark has criticized Austinian concept of law and subscribes to the view that international law is law, yet seems to be under some influence of the shared fallacy because he goes on to remark that international law is a weak law. Once it is admitted that municipal law is a centralized system while international law operates in a decentralized system, it becomes obvious that comparison of the two systems is not proper. Even if a man is so weak and thin and appears like a skeleton, he will still be called a man. Then we say he is weak. We do so by comparing him with a healthy and strong person. Thus, being weak here is a relative concept. So, is the case with international law when it is said that it is a weak law. It is only by comparing it with municipal law we can say this, but it must be stressed that the comparison is not happy and proper because municipal law and international law are different for they operate under different set of circumstances. International law is as good and strong as it can be under the system and circumstances it operates. Its sanctions are as effective and potent as they can be understood, as they can be under the decentralized systems in which they operate. As aptly remarked by Professor Hart, international law is law because states regard it as law. Nothing need be further proved. It may be added that international law is not only law, but its significance and efficacy are constantly increasing. International law deals with such matters, inter alia, such as nuclear weapons and environment, upon, environment upon which very survival of mankind depends. Whether international law is a law in the true sense of the term or not, the new fangled term international law was invented at a time. The newfangled term international law was invented at a time when men's minds were obsessed by theories of national sovereignty, and it is not surprising, therefore, that there came to be attached to a stigma and a contempt which have never attached to the traditional law of nations. The controversy whether international law is a law or not revolves on the divergent definitions of the word law given by jurists. If we subscribe to the view of Hobbes, Austin, and Pfaffendorf that law is a command of someone enforced by superior political authority, then international law cannot be included in the category of law. On the other hand, if we subscribe to the view that the term law cannot be limited to the tools enacted to superior political authority, then international law can be included in the category of law. In his paper entitled Is There a True International Law? Published in 1884, eminent jurist Lawrence aptly remarks, everything depends upon the definition of law which we choose to adopt. The controversy is really a logomachy, a dispute about words, not things, thus the targets of largest of jurisprudence controversy, namely that as to the word law is a verbal dispute and nothing else. Whether or not one wishes to attribute a legal character to the norms of international law depends largely upon the definition of law he chooses to accept. Thus, the jurists are divided into two main groups in regard to the legal character of the norms of international law. We will now discuss critically the views of both the groups of jurists. Hobbies, Pfaffendorf and Austin subscribe to the view that law properly to called is a command of the sovereign and enforced by a superior political authority. Since law is the command of a determined superior, no law can exist where there is no supreme lawgiver and no coercive enforcement agency. According to Austin, law is given by determinate superior political authority to political interference and is backed by a coercive enforcement agency. Thus, in the view of Austin, sanction occupies an important place in the enforcement of law. People follow law because they fear that they do not do so. They might be compelled and even punished. According to Hobbes, man is by nature nasty, brutish and violent and never or sanction which is inherent in law is necessary to maintain order in society. In his view, when need for their security, a common power to keep them in awe and to direct their action to the common benefit. Thus, we see that those jurists who deny the legal character of international law regard law as the command of the sovereign and having a coercive enforcement agency. In the view of these writers, the rules commonly called international law are in the fact the rules of positive morality. Holland, Jeremy Bentham and Jethro Brown, etc. are other prominent jurists who deny the legal character of international law. I thank all my brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, students, scholars, teachers, trainer, professor, professional, officer, official, listener, learners. I thank respected doctors and directors. I thank honorable ministerial managers. I thank honorable advocates, secretaries, and administrative advisors. I thank the most honorable President President Modi ji. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Nice to see all of you. Good morning. Thank you very much. Thank you.